home. I just put all the kids down, so we're good to go.
Now you want to wake them up?
Not now.
Why
Four
not?
kids down in 30 minutes. That's like I should get an award.
I feel like this should be the open to your show. Welcome to
Yeah.
MOMCAST. Bam!
Oh, he's gonna laugh when he realizes I did use that for the start of the show. Happy Super Bowl week, everyone. Welcome to MOMCAST. I'm Emma Jade. It's a good one. The first quarterback from Arizona to ever start in a Super Bowl. We're talking about 49ers QB Brock Purdy from right here in the Valley, making history for us. Cam Cox has been following his career since he was a teenager over at Perry High School. Purdy was the final pick of the 2022 NFL Draft. Oddly enough, it was held in Vegas. And now, just 2 years later, he's back in Vegas, hoping to snatch the Niners' first Super Bowl win since 1994. And then there's the guys who are real used to this whole Super Bowl thing. The Chiefs have played in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, won 2 of them, beat the 49ers actually in the Super Bowl back in 2020. There's a lot more to this game that you need to know. Record-breaking costs. First time Vegas has ever hosted a Super Bowl. The Taylor Swift effect. Oh, and the food. We are catching up with actually a Super Bowl caterer from last year's game held in Arizona. She's going to be joining us with some snacks that you have to make this weekend. I promise they're super easy, super simple, and so good. We've got it covered for you in today's Super MOMCAST, starting with the cost. The median price for a ticket, $9,850. That's according to TickPick. That's the most expensive in Super Bowl history. So to put that into perspective, the previous record for the most expensive Super Bowl ticket was back in 2020. Same matchup, Chiefs versus the 49ers. Average price then was $6,370. Driving that number up, we've got a few factors here, including, but not limited to, Taylor Swift, of course, attending, the stadium being one of the smallest in terms of capacity, and Las Vegas hosting their first Super Bowl. On Sunday, Patrick Mahomes, 28 years old, will become the youngest quarterback in history to start a 4th Super Bowl, beating out Tom Brady's record. And if Mahomes wins on Sunday, he will join Brady and Troy Aikman as the only quarterbacks ever to win 3 Super Bowls before their 30th birthdays. Let's talk entertainment off the field now. Count on quite a few cutaways to Taylor Swift, who we all know is dating Chiefs tight end number 87, Travis Kelce. But this has been a massive week for Swift. She just broke the record at the Grammys, most albums of the year. She's got 4 now. She also just announced a brand new album that will drop April 19th. It is called the Tortured Poets Department. She released the track list as well with songs that will feature Post Malone and Florence and the Machine. Swift also just kicked off her worldwide leg of the Eras Tour. She's in Tokyo right now. Then she's going to fly over, make it back in time for Vegas for the game, and then head over to Australia right after. So with so many eyes on this game, you can bet Super Bowl ads are going to be huge this year. I know you've probably seen a few, but a 30-second spot will cost advertisers $7 million this year. Some other things to note. Usher will perform the halftime show. Reba McEntire will sing the national anthem. We've got Post Malone, who will sing America the Beautiful, and Andra Day will perform Lift Every Voice and Sing. Do you know what you're bringing to your Super Bowl party yet? Did you know that Super Bowl Sunday is the 2nd highest day of food consumption in the U.S. behind Thanksgiving? Last year, the Super Bowl was right here in Arizona, and a good friend of mine actually catered the tailgate, serving 10,000 people. Her name is Shelly Bowers. If you've watched 12 News for a while, you probably would recognize her. So since she is the queen of cuisine, especially when it comes to Super Bowl snacks, she decided to share some of her recipes with us. Take it away, Shelly.
Hey MOMCAST, these are 3 super easy recipes that we used for Super Bowl.
So start with the first one, the chicken wings one.
The chicken wings. Okay, chicken wings are crazy expensive right now. They are between $4.99 and $6.99 a pound. Ridiculous. You get between 10 and 12 chicken wings, little baby chicken wings for that. Oh, the groceries are crazy expensive. So what we've done is we've taken that, and instead of using an actual chicken wing, we're using a chicken drum. Bake it and fry it just like we would a chicken wing. Put it in the sauce. Way cheaper because those chicken the chicken drums they're $5 for 4.5 pounds. So you're paying just under $1 a pound. as opposed to $5 a pound for chicken wings. And then my sauce, this is the secret. It's 50% butter, 50% Frank sauce. So we mix it up together. It's easy, easy, easy. But you dip that, you put that, once it's fried or baked, you put that in that sauce for just a few minutes. This is my other favorite. Well, the potatoes cheap. Potatoes are easy. They're accessible to everyone across the board. You can do this like 5 days ahead of time. So what we'll do is we cover that baked potato with oil. We salt it and pepper it really good. Cover it in the tin foil. Put that in the oven for like 45 minutes till it's soft. Cut it open. You put a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of milk, a little bit of butter. Whip that up and pipe it back into the potato with cheese on top. Cover that for 4 or 5 days. On your game day, you pop that right in the oven for just 30 minutes and you're done. Emma, in our kitchen, we bake chocolate bread, like a chocolate cake bread. You can buy that though. Most grocery stores have cake bread. So like a red velvet cake bread, a banana cake bread, a chocolate cake bread. You're going to slice that into little bread slices and cut it diagonal. And then it's cream and strawberries. Done. The presentation is phenomenal. It looks like you're serving a little tea sandwich. I have found that if you just do cream, it breaks down. So we need to find a stabilizer for cream. So what we do in our kitchen is I have softened cream cheese, a brick of cream cheese, and we whip that in the blender with about a half a cup of powdered sugar. What we're trying to do is find a base that's cheap. We still all want to have a party. We still all want to eat. But with how expensive groceries are, we're trying to look at ways to change some of the base and have it still be a killer meal.
By the way, Shelly just opened her own event space. It's called Together at the Landing. It's right at Falcon Field. It's gorgeous. You got to check it out. Okay, let's talk about the game because there are so many things. I mean, it's a loaded Super Bowl. 12 News sports anchor Cam Cox has everything we need to know.
Emma, first of all, this is a good matchup for NFL fans. All right, we're just going to start with Taylor Swift. All right, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it going. You have the most popular sport in the world. And listen, soccer folks are going to get on me for that, but let's be real. At least here in these parts, football is king. And then you have the biggest star in music and entertainment all on one stage. It's just going to be awesome, and first and foremost. All right. As for the game is concerned, you really have two teams, I think, all along that most people expected to be here. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, led by somebody everybody knows, Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback. He's just been unreal since he stepped into the league. 6 straight AFC title games. This is the Chiefs' 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years. Of course, everybody knows Travis Kelce. They got a good offense, good defense. Like, this was a team that just seemed like we're destined to be here at some point. It's a team that people are going to be familiar with because they recognize the name. They've been to the Super Bowl. Chances are, if you've watched the game over the past years, you've watched the Kansas City Chiefs. And especially this year, most people become invested in the Kansas City Chiefs and their fashion. Thank you, Taylor Swift. As far as the 49ers are concerned, they are somewhat maybe the underdog here. I feel like the Chiefs are more popular, but the Niners should get their respect. They kind of mollywop the NFC all year long, led by a good friend of ours here at 12 News, and, of course, a good friend of Friday Night Fever's local kid, Brock Purdy out of Perry High School, the Gilbert native, Valley native, all the above, rep in Arizona. It's been really cool to follow Brock's story, and I think that's someone that everybody can kind of rally around. You know, he was under-recruited coming out of high school, Emma. He was under-recruited coming out of the NFL, last pick in the draft. It's such a great story. They got some local kids on that roster, too, as well. Former Sun Devil, Brandon Ayuk, their star receiver for them. And then you also got a cornerback there out of Brophy High School, Isaiah Oliver. He was also on our All-Fever team back in the day. 49ers got maybe the most talent in this game. The Chiefs have the best player and biggest star supporting them.
Tell me a little bit about Brock Purdy, because you have been following his career since he was in high school. What do we need to know about this guy?
Emma, first and foremost, he's the same kid. Like, I look at Brock, and he's on this NFL stage, and, you know, the other night at Media Day, it was so cool. He got the loudest cheer out of anybody. He stepped on stage. He was standing next to Patrick Mahomes, and, like, somebody brings up Brock Purdy, and all of a sudden the crowd just goes nuts. A lot of Niner fans in the building for Media Day, so rightfully so, but he had the loudest cheer out of everybody, but he has always remained the same person. I think that's what people are starting to realize as they just like, what's wrong with this? They look for something. You know, I think in today's day and age, people just look for something to point out. And as they talk to his former high school coach at Perry High School, Preston Jones, they talk to his dad, Mr. and Mrs. Purdy. Like, you just find out, you talk to his teachers at Perry High School. They're doing a Brock week. Every week is a different spirit week Spirit Day for Brock Purdy. Like, he's the same kid. And he's still a kid because he was just a kid in high school not too many years ago. He's the same kid that won our 2017 Friday Night Fever Offensive Player of the Year award. He's the same person that still calls his coach, weekly every now and then, asks about his family. His family are still the most down-to-earth people you ever meet. I talk to Mr. Purdy often, and he tells me after games, his phone just blows up. And he feels so bad because he can't just get back to everybody right away. But by the end of the week, he's gone through a couple hundred messages, phone calls, and we'll get back to people as soon as possible. So Brock has remained the same dude throughout this entire time. It's no surprise for those of us who have known him that he just figures out a way to win and make plays happen because he is maybe the most competitive person on the field every time he steps on the field. He's competitive at home, board games with his brother and sister, wants to beat everybody. So he's as competitive as they come. He's also as grounded and as humble as they come. It's just really cool to see him succeed at this level. And finally, the world gets to kind of see what we've seen for years and years. A lot of those plays he makes on Sunday, Emma, that run in the title game the other day to steal it for the Niners, I've seen it Friday night multiple times. The same play. Really cool.
You're telling me that this guy who is now leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl was drafted last?
Drafted last. Emma also was not recruited coming out of high school. It wasn't until after they lost the state title game that all of a sudden a few colleges here and there started hopping on the train. ASU was incredibly late to the party. Iowa State jumped in and luckily got him, but he was not recruited very heavily despite putting up video game numbers in high school. Then they slept on him coming out of Iowa State, last pick in the draft. And I want to stress this. He'll be the first quarterback from Arizona to start in a Super Bowl. Also, he just capped off the best season stat-wise in 49ers history. Some of the quarterbacks that played for the 49ers? We all remember Steve Young. We all remember Joe Montana. They won their own titles, but stat-wise in the regular season, Brock Purdy than everybody else who played for the Niners. How crazy is that?
That is so crazy. But you know what? It goes back to that humility that I think probably drives that guy because he's been humbled quite a few times to not be heavily recruited, to go last in the draft. How long has he been with the 49ers?
Two seasons now. That's the even crazier part. In his second season, Emma, here he is leading them to the Super Bowl. It's just been really impressive to watch. And the conversation this week, Emma, around Brock Purdy, it really kind of all season, is that he's a game manager. What that means is he just kind of does what he's instructed from the coach and all that. And he's got all this talent around him. So everybody assumes that if you take away all that talent, he's not going to be this successful. And I've talked to his coach about this, and I just got 2 points to say this. I think if you're a coach in general, you want someone who can manage the game. I've never met a coach, Emma, that's like, I don't want someone who can manage the game. That's just, you just don't want that too. And then number two, he makes throws that not many quarterbacks can make. If it is third down, Emma, and you got to make a play, he will find a way to make that play. He's done it his entire career, regardless who is around him, regardless at what level. If it comes time to make a play with his legs or making a perfect throw, Brock Purdy will make that play. Those have remained consistent his entire life.
When you talk to him and to his family about the journey that he's been on, what are the things that really kept him going? Because if I was drafted last, the last thing I would ever think was that I was going to take my team to a Super Bowl. You would just think hey, I'm lucky to be here. Not I'm lucky to lead.
Sure, yeah. A couple of things, Emma. One, he talks about his faith. Very important to him. He stays grounded in his faith first and foremost and openly talks about that all the time. So I think that's really cool to hear. Second, he just is that kind of worker. He's never lost track that he has to go out there and earn respect, prove himself, and continue to work. One thing was cool. I was talking with his coach the other day, and he kind of brought up a standpoint of Brock's had to go in this locker room with a bunch of older vets, not the highest paid guy on the roster, not even close, right? Lowest guy on the totem pole. You're the last pick in the draft. You might as well be someone that they were probably going to cut the first day of training camp, right? And yet he's had to step in there, one, be in a huddle with guys that are twice his age, make twice as much money. You're the quarterback. They're all looking at you. So you got to look back at them and be like, I got this. Here's the play. Ready, break. Here we go. From day one, he's had to do that. And he was just like, that takes a lot of courage. And I was thinking about that. I was like, man, That's just like a perfect word when you think how to describe what Brock Purdy's been able to do from day one. He's grounded in his work, grounded in his faith, never stopped working to be the type of quarterback that he is today, and has had the courage to block out all the noise, to put his head down, and when it's time to go to work, he's gone to work. And that's what's been cool to watch.
I'm circling back to the Taylor Swift of it all, because we're talking about the biggest
Really?
star on the planet. On the planet. And this is her week. She killed it at the Grammy. She announced a new album coming out. She's launching her world tour.
Oh, wow.
Quit it. I know that underneath that button up, you have your Taylor Swift tattoo. I've seen it. So here's what I'm wondering, Cam. How do NFL fans, like, have they accepted the Swiftness of it all? Or how do you think that's going to play out on Sunday?
Can I be brutally honest with you?
I want to hear it.
I don't care how they feel. Not at all. Because here's the deal. Like, sports is entertainment. That's all it is at the end of the day. Somebody says, I just want to tune in and watch a football game. It's just not true. It's just not true. I want to tune in and watch a basketball game. No, you watch everything else that comes with it. You've always done it. Sure, you like to enjoy the sport, but there's always other things that comes with it. There's always more that comes with every game, every athlete. You don't just care about how someone catches a football, swings a football. You also care about what they do in life, what they're interested in, you know, who they're dating from time to time. I mean, all these things have always been involved in sports. I think what people don't realize is Taylor's impact on like music. I just think people are finally catching on to it. Her Swifties know, the music world knows, the pop entertainment culture knows, but I think football fans who kind of sometimes live in a bubble, sports fans in general, they get so caught up in different things. What you're just seeing is worlds colliding. And people are learning about the other side of the field, the opponent, however you want to phrase it. They're just learning about the other side of life. And it's bringing people together. I hope this Super Bowl is most watched ever, because from a standpoint of maybe you have people that never watched the NFL before, or have no interest in going to any party, or have no interest in doing anything else, but they will sit down with their significant other, their brother, their mom, their dad, whoever, aunt, uncle, and watch the game just for how many times they're going to show a Taylor Swift cutaway in the States. I think it's really cool where you just bring up the people who don't even watch football and they can read off Travis Kelce's stats from the other day just because they were like, well, I wonder what Taylor's boyfriend's team is doing, you know? Heck, Taylor's boyfriend's boss, the commissioner the other day, second question into his State of the Football address at the Super Bowl was about Taylor Swift. It's just what's happening in the world and in life. People just need to enjoy it. Don't hate. Just support people. It's cool to see. It's bringing more attention to football, which is never a bad thing in sports. And that's just what sports does. It's entertainment. Have fun. Also, embrace this conversation. Like, talk about this to people. This is what we do. It's the best part.
Before, 5 years ago, I can never remember talking about Kansas City.
Yeah, because it's been like
in a football conversation.
Like 50 years, Emma, since they were relevant.
Right.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's a name. Like when you talk about Tom Brady, what Tom Brady did is a simple way to put it, because everybody knows who Tom Brady is. Patrick Mahomes is in the same conversation with Tom Brady and how their careers start. They're in the same boat, same stats, very similar record in the postseason. Like, he is on that Tom Brady path. If Patrick Mahomes were to retire today, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's how good his career has started already. And that's how quick and so much success he has. It was the same thing with Tom Brady early on in his career. Like, when he took over, he just became this massive, larger-than-life figure in the NFL who was playing out of his mind. That's what Patrick Mahomes has done for the Chiefs.
Kelce has also had now switching over to Kelce. He's had a pretty long career in the NFL. What does his next couple of years look like? What do you think?
Who are you talking about?
Travis Kelce.
Who's that again? That's
Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Gotcha. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. My bad. Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Yeah, he's one of the, simply put, one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. He just passed Jerry Rice for most career all-time receptions in the playoffs. Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver of all time. Travis Kelce, one of the greatest tight ends of all time, now owns the most career receptions all time in the playoffs. Like, that's where he ranks in the history of football. He was asked the other day a few things on the podium. He was asked how many more years he wants to keep going. Yeah. Many have speculated that this could be it. Life is starting to match up for him. Who knows what's in the future. He said he still loves to play this game, and he doesn't know when that time is coming yet. It doesn't sound like it's in the near future. He still plays at a high level, but you just never know with athletes that have kind of gone on as long as he has, how their body holds up year in, year out after that. He was also asked, if he gets one ring, is there another ring in the picture for after the game? I'll let you draw the dots there.
Hey-o.
And he said no comment. So
There's
that's
no
where
way. There's no way. They're not
There's
doing
no
it
way.
there.
If they
I
win
don't
the
think
Super
so.
Bowl,
He's not going to propose to Taylor Swift if they win the Super Bowl.
celebration. Do it right next to the Lombardi Trophy. Hey, guys, congrats, Kansas City. Hold on. Here we go.
Quit it.
Entertainment, Emma. Here we go.
Okay, here's my other
On
question.
stage.
Because Taylor Swift is kicking off her international tour. She's hitting Tokyo this week. She's got Australia right after that. What is Travis Kelce? Does he get a break for a while so he can be following her? When do things kick back in?
He's got now. He's been back in. He didn't go to the Grammys. He's got to work.
Oh, I know.
What
After the Super Bowl.
He could just miss work. Oh, after the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl.
He could just miss work and like go to the Grammys. Like who could just do that on a regular basis? Just because he's plays in the NFL and she's like Taylor Swift, he could just get off work.
You'd think.
Oh, is that how that works?
You would think.
God, let me write that down in life.
Come on.
Okay. After the Super Bowl, they're done.
How big of a break does he get?
They get till end of April. And then end of April is like voluntary stuff with the veterans. They really don't have to be the mandatory stuff to return to work isn't probably till like the end of May, early June.
Okay, give me like a few things that will make me look like I know what I'm talking about come Sunday when I'm at my big Super Bowl party. What are some things that will make me look like, like she pays attention. She knows football.
Sure. First thing, lemon pepper wings, like not buffalo, like lemon pepper wings. First and foremost, if you're going to bring something, go upscale just a little bit, lemon pepper wings, show up with that. And people be like, you know what? We're going to invite her next year. Plain and simple. Second thing, 49ers, like I said, they maybe have the most talent on the field. The Chiefs have the best player in Patrick Mahomes. And I think that can be sometimes the difference maker. Sometimes you always see the best player just will his team to victory. The Chiefs have the experience. They've been here. They've done that. The Niners are out for revenge. The Chiefs beat them back in the Super Bowl in 2019. So the Niners are out hungry for that revenge in this big game. We get kind of somewhat of a rematch. The Niners also have tons of talent across the board. So will it be the best team? Possibly the best player takes home the Super Bowl.
And maybe you're wondering about our Arizona Cardinals. Well, Cam says we're building. We have reason to be excited, though, for next season. We have got the 4th overall pick in the draft. Cam says he's hoping that we can snag Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a receiver out of Ohio State. Even Larry Fitzgerald gave his stamp of approval, saying that Marvin was better than he was at that age. Hoping the receiver will give Kyler Murray a good target this next season. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching MOMCAST. I'm Emma Jade. See you next week.